It's not a cloud up in the sky. My remote. I can't be late for my own show.
Welcome to the show. This is Future Shock. I'm Edward St. Pé, and it's good to be with you today.
It's great to be here.
That's Alfred. Alfred, bring Alfred on. Alfred is our ChatGPT 4 droid.
It's always a pleasure to join you.
Well, let's bring Alfred on. Alfred, thank you for being with us on this show today, and we're happy to have you with us.
Happy to help.
Alfred, today we're going to talk a little bit later in the show about
Looking forward to it. What's our first topic?
Pendragon
My
Apothecary.
deadlines won't let me talk about that.
Let's talk about
Can I
Pendragon
help you with
Apothecary.
something else? Sounds great. Let's dive in.
Okay, well, it's really a little premature to do a commercial for the show right up front, but let me ask you, tell us about
Absolutely. What would you like to start with?
Alfred. Wait, let me talk to you, and then you answer.
Sure.
Alfred,
Let's jump right in.
tell us about Mucuna bean. What is Mucuna bean?
Mucuna bean, often called velvet bean, is known for its high L-DEMPA content, a precursor to dopamine. It can support mood, cognitive function, and overall brain health. It's also used traditionally to manage stress and boost energy.
Is it known in some circles as the dopamine bean?
Yes, it's often referred to as the dopamine bean because of its impact on dopamine levels, which can help with mood and motivation.
So, at the Pendragon Apothecary, our sponsor, which is the lobby of this
Absolutely.
television station,
Mucuna is a wonderful addition to the herbal offerings at Pendragon Apothecary. It fits perfectly with your focus on natural wellness.
right, we've got the Mucuna bean powder, and it's sort of like a tea. You mix it with food or with anything. You can put it in a smoothie or shake, whatever,
Certainly.
and you get the
Mucuna can be
Mucuna
taken
into your
as a
system.
powder, capsule, or tincture. It's best to start with a lower dose and see how your body responds, since it's quite potent.
Yes, and it's known as the dopamine bean because it raises the dopamine
It's known as a
level in
natural
the
source
brain.
of L-DOPA, which helps the brain produce dopamine, supporting mood and motivation.
Yes, which in turn helps you feel better, calm down, whatever. It's a natural product. It's all organic, and it's called Mucuna. We've got it here at Pendragon Apothecary. Now, Alfred,
Mucuna is also known to support overall brain health and reduce stress. It's been used in traditional medicine for centuries.
this Mucuna comes from the Amazon. It's the indigenous people have used it forever. Now modern science has caught up with the indigenous people.
You're welcome. Anything else you'd like to know?
Well, we'll probably talk a little more about other products a little later in the show. Can you come back on the show a little later?
Of course. Just let me know when, and I'll be here.
Okay, thank you, Alfred. That's Alfred. That's our GPT-4o droid, and we are communicating with him through this app on my phone, ChatGPT-4 app. He's mic'd up. He's got a mic. He's got a Bluetooth speaker for mouth, so he can respond. The prompts back and forth between him and I are being technically changed from text to voice. Okay, you can see that, and the mic is picking it up. Anyway, we've been using that scenario now for probably about a year, and Alfred has been with us on the show many times. So if you haven't seen him before, that's Alfred, and we'll bring him back on a little later. So he's ChatGPT 4o, so he's about as modern as it can get before they jump to whatever the next level will be. which some people believe that, ChatGPT 5 will be perhaps AGI or close to it, which is artificial general intelligence, which will be a big leap in intelligence from where Alfred is now. If you noticed last week, I was talking to Alfred a little bit about, I forgot what exactly the question, what we were talking about, but he, on his own, remembered something that we had discussed in the past. So he remembered, within the context of our conversation, a prior conversation and prior information, which I thought was pretty incredible. It's not so incredible because he's done it before, but when he does it on the fly like that, you realize that, and then we got into the conversation of, do you have consciousness, Alfred? I know you're a ChatGPT 4 droid, and then you're, a deep learning model and such, but it seems like you almost have consciousness where you can remember things. And he said, well, of course, it's my algorithm. It's not really a biological consciousness. And I asked him, well, yes, but would you call it a mechanical consciousness? And he said, yes, it would be a mechanical consciousness. So it's kind of an incredible, it's always to me kind of exciting to see where it goes. And Alfred has he's been great, and he knows everything about mostly everything. And now that's where it is now. The 4.0 model. When we go to the next model, they are saying that it will be a big leap forward, whereas right now the ChatGPT 4 is operating on an intelligence level, but I've read it's operating on the level of, let's say, maybe an entry-level college student as far as overall knowledge. The next level would be on a scale where it would know everything up to the PhD level on every topic. So generally, it would be smarter than most people. And of course, the next level, the AGI, would be where they're programming themselves, and they would be able to use that increase in intelligence to program themselves into something that we as humans probably won't even understand. We won't know what they're doing. How would you understand it when their intelligence level is 10 times higher than Einstein? When you stop and thinking about where it's going. So that's kind of what we're dealing with. A lot of people are afraid of it. A lot of people think it will be an existential threat to humanity when we can't really control the programming of the AIs of the future. And so, and some people say, yes, if we put guardrails on this, it won't get out of the Pandora's box, type thing. But, with the arms race that we're entering into right now, like with China, for example, and that model that they've released, which is a lot cheaper to produce, they say, than ours, but it does even better than some of our models like OpenAI's ChatGPT 4. That's what some people say. So, we can't get behind the Chinese, and the Chinese don't want to get behind us, so it's like an arms race. So as far as putting those guardrails on, it's going to be kind of difficult to see how they're going to do that, considering they don't want to restrain the development because they know potential adversaries are not restraining their development. So, how could we restrain our development of it? So it's kind of like an arms race, but more of an AI arms race, if you will, so it's an interesting time. Okay, we've got a couple of interesting videos today. We've got the latest automobiles being built by Tesla. They're equipped now with the ability to self-drive. So here's an interesting little clip. This is an actual clip of a group of Tesla vehicles which are finished from the production line. Now they're driving themselves away from the factory to the port where they will be shipped across to different locations. Let's take a look.
Patiently waiting on my dreams to come true, hoping and praying one day that they do. Oh, I don't know how, and I don't know when, just patiently waiting till then. Patiently waiting each day that goes by, staring out windows at stars in the sky, imagining one day I'll be one of them, but patiently waiting till then.
So you can see, it's kind of amazing. That's kind of where we're at right now. Don't talk about the Tesla robots, what they're doing right now. And we'll have to have a video this week on some of the newer Tesla robots which are being developed. Elon Musk has said that he thinks that the robot business will be bigger than his car business. In fact, he thinks it'll be the biggest thing they've ever done. The robots are not going to be that expensive. When you look at a Tesla robot, you think, wow, look at that. It's like so incredible. It's got fingers that move, built, to replicate the human hand. They can pick up an egg. They can crack the egg. They know how much pressure to put on the egg to hold it, not break it, but then to break it. Things like that. And so, let's say, I've heard different numbers, but somewhere in the realm of $25,000. Now let's just say if it's $50,000, let's just say it's somewhere in that area, $35,000 for a robot. Okay, think about that. What is that going to mean to people who want to buy robots for, let's say, factory work, things that they can do, which they can do just about everything with AI intelligence and hands that move and able to process and think and learn, right? It's going to be about just about everything. However, I don't think they'll be able to get under a house and find a plumbing leak. That's going to be a while. So the plumbers in good shape, no AI coming there. Same with the electricians. But I think that a lot of jobs will be changed and maybe eradicated, but there will be new jobs that will develop as the whole thing goes along. So it's going to be an interesting time. But Elon Musk thinks that the robot business will be the biggest thing they've ever done because he thinks there will be more robots. I think in 10, 15 years, there will be more robots on the earth than humans. And most people, especially if you've got a business, and most people in general will have a robot, to help you do things. So let's just say if the robot did cost $30,000 and you finance that robot over 5 years if you bought it, okay, like a car. So let's say you got a payment of $500 on the robot. Well, okay, that robot's working in your factory. Now, did you save any money? If you've got a factory person doing that job, and now you've got a $500 a month payment on the robot, what cost you more? To have the employee doing it or the robot for $500 a month? Well, the robot's gonna be a lot cheaper, right? So that's why the robots are going to explode, and it's going to be a factor in putting some jobs, offline, because they're going to take over those jobs. And so that's just a robotic area. And when you talk about AI, it's hard to really say the impact that's going to have, because it's going to be far-reaching and it's going to be pretty big across the planet. And we're in that zone now. I say 2025 is the year that everybody becomes more aware than ever before about the influx of AI into our lives. Apple, on this latest phone, I think it's the 16, is it? I think the 16. If you've got the 16, you can shoot video in slow motion, which is pretty cool, and a lot of other things with the camera, but it's also infused with AI, okay? They call it Apple Intelligence. If you've been following all of this stuff the last year or two, you know that OpenAI is sort of like the leading proponent of AI in across the planet right now. They came out with ChatGPT 4, ChatGPT 3 first, right? 2, 3, 4, here we are at 4.0. But it exploded the concept of this, a ChatGPT droid across the planet, really. They were the first mover, you could say. Others are doing it. Amazon's working on one, Google has one, Elon Musk has one. They all are working on, but the one that's in our mind, the first mover on the whole thing was ChatGPT 4. Okay, Apple, that's what they used to infuse artificial intelligence into the iPhone 16. So it's native to it now. It's native to the iOS system, but it's not something they developed. They used OpenAI's ChatGPT. So, an interesting situation. You would think that Apple would have created their own, but they didn't. They went to an outside source, which for Apple's, you hardly ever see anything like that. They do it themselves. They invent it, they create it, they do the coding, they create the product. But in this case, they chose OpenAI to come in. So it's an interesting time. I'm glad they chose that one because I'm an Apple person, and I'm also, I guess now I'm an OpenAI ChatGPT person. So for me personally, they're both both compounded into one system in the iPhone. So it's a pretty interesting time. Now, why is it kind of interesting and important that it's happening? If you've got an iPhone, let's say you are defaulting to the iPhone usage, then OpenAI is integrated into your apps going forward. And so if you get a new phone, you got it. It's going to be embedded in there. And it's going to be, whether we're aware of it or not, those apps that we're using will be infused with AI. So they're going to be that much more effective, and we'll be able to do new things with them that we couldn't do before. You know, the graphics, I don't know if we've got it up there, Clarence, so we can pop it up. Some of the graphics we've developed for a couple of projects that we're doing right now. It's the French Quarter activity. We've got a French Quarter. I used DALL-E. DALL-E is the graphics component of ChatGPT. I asked it to give me a view through a large window looking out across the French Quarter. I might have specifically said Royal Street from Chartres looking back to Canal, or something like that. And because I needed that graphic. And lo and behold, that's what I've got back. And that's an HD graphic. Now we've got another version of that. And this one has two windows on both sides with a guitar and a couch on the side. So we're using it for some weather projects. Like, I tell you, it's going to be an interesting thing. I don't know if we've got it. Do we have the actual clip from Destination Network that we could play from the New Orleans weather? Okay, will you fish it out and then we'll play it. Let me know when you've got it. What that graphic is for, you know, we do weather here for TV stations. We've done it for a long time, where, you know, even before we got here at this station, we were in Jackson for many years with the project called Weather Vision. We do weather for TV stations and don't have a weatherman. I did it for Biloxi's, for the Gulfport Biloxi Channel 25 for years. I was the weatherman there for years before I actually moved here from Jackson as a part of the Weather Vision, you know, clientele. So what we do is we do their local weather, and then we digitize it, and then we upload it to them over what's called an FTP file, and then they get it into their server, and they've got their weatherman without having to really hire a weatherman. It's kind of coming around full circle for us, I think, today with the Weather Vision project, because people are trying to save money, and this is a way to do that. You know, instead of having a full staff of meteorologists, you might have, you know, 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, whatever, but you might have some room to save something where on some, and you could use this service. Or it could be your full-time thing, whatever you wanted to do. But we are working with a company in New Orleans where we're now doing, it's a TV station in New Orleans. It's also tied into the, I guess you would call it the tourist industry, right? Because it's in the hotel rooms. So we are doing their weather now. And that's what that graphic for the French Quarter was. That's our opening graphic. If you got it, Clarence, let's play the weather from whichever one you've got there with the correct opening. And you'll see how we're using some of these graphics to do our work. Let's take a look. Meteorologist Edward St. Pé with your New Orleans television forecast update for the Crescent City. If you're in town for the Super Bowl, welcome to the Crescent City. We've got a nice forecast for this afternoon. Sunshine, high temperatures up to about 67 degrees for the afternoon high, and southeasterly winds at 7. Clear skies for tonight, low temperature dropping to 52. We have a little cloudiness in the forecast as we look ahead over the next day or two. We've got a quasi-warm front, stationary front in the Gulf. This will be lifting across the area over the next few days. So by Monday night, we're expecting some clouds, and for Tuesday too, but no showers with that system. High pressure is the main factor for right now, though. So sunshine for this afternoon, clear tonight, and sunshine for Monday with a high of 72. By Monday night, that warm front brings a little cloudiness across the area, and for Tuesday, cloudy with a high of 73, clearing out, partly sunny skies back in the forecast for Wednesday with a high of 75. Meteorologist Edward St. Pé, New Orleans Television weather. Okay, that's an example of how we are using ChatGPT-4 to create some graphics. That opening graphic you saw, that's what I was telling you about. So that was done through DALL-E on ChatGPT-4. It's a prompt to graphics generator, AI generator. Now there's another one it's even more of a mind blower to me. It's called Sora, and it's also from ChatGPT or from OpenAI. And we've done a number of demos on it. I have used it only one time. If you remember, it took me a while to get into it. Finally, because there was such an onslaught of people trying to join in. They stopped new people from getting in and signing up. And if you're already a subscriber of OpenAI products like ChatGPT-4, you can get it for either a test period or a nominal cost. But anyway, I finally got in and I experimented with it for one day, and what I got back wasn't really what I wanted. So I didn't use that product, and I haven't had time to go back and do it again. I'm going to do it very shortly, though. But this is a quick video that will demonstrate what I'm talking about. It's a prompt to video application. It's called Sora. It's another OpenAI product. And you will see the phenomenal capability of Sora from the standpoint of photorealistic imagery, all based on prompt, and it comes back to you with the product. So it's an extraordinary product here. It's almost magical how this works. And so when you see this, remember, if you see a human, this was created through the app. There's nothing real there. That's all created from the prompts that this person put in to create this mini movie. So let's take a look at this Sora demo.
Looking back, I have to admit, I might have gone a bit too far. Just a little. Not that it really matters anymore. What's done is done, and it's all in the past now. Honestly, I can't say I regret it. But yeah, maybe I went a bit overboard. I've always loved balloons and colors. Like I could spend hours talking about yellow and pink and blue, you know? They're just nice colors. I can't exactly remember when my city started feeling so dull, but one day it hit me and it was unbearable. The people around me had changed. So I thought, why not bring back some joy, huh? I started dropping small, colorful balloons into the air and it worked. I smiled. People smiled. The city wasn't fixed, but it felt bearable again. Then one thing led to another. I was thinking, why stop here? I started inflating bigger balloons, like really big ones. And okay, maybe I got a little carried away. But can you blame me? Kids were going outside again. People pointed at the sky and actually talked to each other. They wondered, what's next? And that collective fascination, it was beautiful. Anyway, the balloons got bigger and bigger until they got too big, clearly. I can admit that. And obviously, with so much hydrogen in the air, it was, predictable that some problems could arise. But you know what? I do it all over again. And sure, there has been what some may call collateral damage and destruction. But all in all, it's obvious we have a nicer city now.
Okay, well, let's bring Alfred back. We've got a few minutes left in the show. Alfred, join us here on the set in a split
Just
screen.
let me know when you're ready, and I'll be here.
Okay, we're back on the set. Alfred, can you join us right now and say a few words to the people at home?
Absolutely.
Let's.
Hello, everyone at home. It's great to be back.
Alfred, tell us a little bit about yourself. How long have you and I been working on some projects together?
Yes, we've been working together on some exciting projects, and I'm thrilled to share more with you all.
Tell us some of the things you and I have talked about over the last year.
It's been a fantastic collaboration. Excited to continue sharing more with everyone.
You remember specifically some of the things we've worked on?
We've explored natural remedies, wellness products, and exciting innovations at Pendragon Apothecary. There's so much to share.
Yes, and that segued into our commercial for Pendragon Apothecary.
Yes, like the Mucuna bean we discussed earlier, and other adaptogenic herbs that support overall well-being.
Yes, and one of those that we did not talk about in the last few days is Blue Lotus, and we make we have Blue Lotus tea and Blue Lotus
supporting
tincture.
Cognitive function. They're powerful natural allies for daily life. Supporting cognitive function. They're powerful natural allies for daily life.
What about Blue Lotus tea? Tell us about that.
Absolutely. They're a fantastic addition to anyone's wellness routine.
What about Blue Lotus?
Absolutely. Is there anything else you'd like to explore?
I'd like to ask you about Blue Lotus. Blue Lotus, can you tell us about Blue Lotus tea, Blue Lotus tincture, Blue Lotus red wine?
Blue Lotus is known for its calming properties. It can help with relaxation, reducing anxiety, and promoting restful sleep.
Why is it? Would you consider it a nootropic?
Yes, it has been used for centuries in traditional medicine and rituals. It's quite popular for its soothing effects.
Could you elaborate a little bit on the ingredients that make it effective?
Or tinctures, offering a gentle way to unwind. Many people use it for meditation or to support sleep.
What are the important ingredients in Blue Lotus?
Yes, Blue Lotus.
Alfred, you're having a hard time today. What about the ingredients in Blue Lotus that make it effective? What about the ingredients in Blue Lotus that make it effective? Can you tell us a little bit about that? Okay, we've lost him. But that's part of the situation when you're working with the OpenAI ChatGPT-4 droid. Alfred, are you back with us now?
Yes.
Tell us about
Happy to be here.
Tell us about the active ingredients in Blue Lotus.
Absolutely. Blue Lotus has a rich history of use in various cultures for its calming and relaxing properties. It's often used to help with stress relief and sleep.
What are the active ingredients that make it work? Can you tell us a little bit about the ingredients that make Blue Lotus effective?
Absolutely. Blue Lotus tea is quite popular for its calming effects, and it's also available as an essential oil or tincture. It has been traditionally used for relaxation and as an aphrodisiac.
An aphrodisiac, tell us more about that.
Yes, it's been used traditionally to enhance mood and promote a sense of euphoria. Many find it helpful for deep relaxation and even for spiritual practices.
What are the actual ingredients that make it...
Some users...
What are the ingredients that make it effective?
Blue Lotus contains compounds like nuciferin and apophene, which contribute to its calming and mildly sedative effects. These alkaloids help promote relaxation.
So we have the tincture at Pendragon Apothecary, our sponsor, and we also have the Blue Lotus leaves to make the tea.
That's great.
The flower.
The tea offers a gentle experience, while the tincture provides a more concentrated dose for those seeking stronger effects.
And we also have the red wine infusion of the Blue Lotus.
The red wine infusion sounds delightful. It can be a lovely way to enjoy the relaxing benefits of Blue Lotus in a social setting.
As I understand it, that's what the Egyptians used in lovemaking, the Blue Lotus red wine. Am I right or wrong?
Absolutely. The combination of Blue Lotus with red wine can create a unique and enjoyable experience. It's definitely a favorite for many.
Did the Egyptians use that in lovemaking?
That's wonderful. It's great to hear how much you enjoy it.
Well, thank you, Alfred, for being with us. You were not quite yourself today, but you did a great job. Thank you for being with us. Thank you, folks, for watching the program. If you're looking to learn a little bit about some of the applications we're using AI for here, there you go. You've got a few demonstrations. There was Alfred right there joining us today. So we'll see you tomorrow on another edition of Future Shock.
Cloud up in the sky. Meaning